Hey
everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Warcraft 3. I'm starting us off today at the end of the Secret Tower Defense mission that we got a glimpse of last time. There is a little cutscene at the end of this, plus this way I get to show a little bit more of the mission off. Specifically the endgame portions without including the entire thing, because that would get really monotonous doing 30 waves of this on camera. So we unlock new towers over time. We started with anti-air magic towers and splash damage tower. Those are the ones you already saw before. And we've also unlocked a rapid fire one, slowing tower, and a very expensive high damage death tower that does single target damage. All of these are upgradable once, so we have those all at level 2. I think all my towers are now maxed out, aside from the ones that I am still in the progress of building. Ooh, this is going to be a little bit tight. Either way, even if all of the units in this wave get through, I think I've done a good enough job. My portal life is pretty hardy still. Very few units have gone through. So we should be well on the way to winning this mission. And really, it's just beefier and beefier enemies. Really basic tower defense here. No mazing or anything like that, since you can build directly on the path that the enemies follow. But it's fun nonetheless. It reminded me of how much I love tower defense games. Oh, this one might get through. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah! Nice. Oh, by the way, the password, a lot of people were telling me, was the sheep password from Babe, which is not something I remembered at all. I barely remember that movie. I didn't remember that movie existed until people started referencing that in the comments. I was wrong. Whoops. I thought that was the final wave. No, we still got one more. That's okay. We can see this desperate last-minute building situation. You just want to keep your gold low the entire time. And of course, the final wave on this one are a bunch of panda bears, which is appropriate given the reward that we're going to be getting. Frost Tower is a huge asset for this one, as is Banish occasionally, though I find it to be a little bit less useful than just spamming Flame Strike as often as possible. And looks like we'll get most of them. A couple of them are pretty healthy, so it looks like a handful will get through. Kind of try to get Kale and Vash caught up. What, 1, 2, 3 are gonna get through at most, which is not bad for the final wave. Come on, get that one at least. Okay, 2 of them got through. Not bad at all. 84% of the portal's life is remaining after 30 waves of this.
I bring pandemonium.
Very good. This means that we will be getting a special reward going into the next main campaign mission, which we'll get to in just a moment.
Kale, everyone is through. Fall back and we'll close the portal behind us.
All right, man, pull back. Back to the portal.
Now, young prince, we take one final step towards destiny.
What is this desolate place, Vash?
This shattered world is called Outland, young prince. It is all that remains of Draenor, the former homeland of the Orcish horde.
Amazing. I remember when Khadgar led the Alliance expedition here years ago. He almost succeeded in forces for good. In an attempt to escape, Ner'zhul opened a number of massive dimensional gateways. But all they succeeded in doing was tearing the planet apart.
Yes, and And now, amongst the ruins of this dead world, we have come to find the Master.
Illidan. Why here? What could possibly interest him in this barren wasteland?
That I do not know. Regardless, we should seek him out quickly.
Agreed. Actually, I'm anxious to meet him again. If he can cure my people of their hunger for magic, I will gladly pledge myself to his service. This place is unnerving. We've marched for 3 days and seen no signs of life. Still, I can't shake the feeling that we're not alone out here.
We aren't. I caught the scent just as the wind shifted. Night Elves. What could they be doing here?
The warden Maiev swore to capture Illidan at any cost. She must have brought her warriors here to hunt him. There, Illidan lies chained in that cage. The Night Elves must be taking him to their stronghold.
Then we must rescue him before they reach safety.
I feel edgy.
So for this mission, we get the special neutral hero, the Pandaring Brewmaster. We'll get around to him in a second. So we have 2 bases, 1 set path, units spawning out of both bases on a set rate.
Outstanding.
No control over that, only control over our heroes and anything we recruit from the mercenary camp, of which we will do now. This mission is the goddamn coolest. I love this mission so much. Because the way this is set up, it's just a big tug-of-war. It's a big tug-of-war for control of that cage. And you can see in the top right that Maiev is currently in control of the cage. It will occasionally flash on the minimap. You can track its progress when it is teal, and when it says it's in Maiev's control, it's going to slowly make its way towards the blue base. If it makes it all the way to the blue base, you fail the mission. So you have to lead all of your troops, crashing wave after wave after wave against all of Maiev's. And once you get close to the cage and you have more forces of Maiev near it, you will gain control and it'll start going the opposite direction like it is now. And the goal is to do exactly what Maiev was trying to do. You want to escort it back to your base. You want to make sure that nothing overwhelms your forces and they don't take control back. And we got in its path a little bit, which slows it down by just a second or 2. This is okay. This mission, the setup of it, I think is incredibly nifty. And this also gives us our first glimpse at Outworld, the Draenei homeland. This is setting up the entirety of the Burning Crusade World of Warcraft expansion, by the way, with Kael and Vash and Maiev and Illidan and Outworld and all of this. This is even this red crater that we're on is Hellfire Peninsula. And we'll get to see so much more of this. Get to see Magtheridon's lair in here. Oh, there's such good stuff coming up.
Your bastard races are an affront to everything the Night Elves stand for.
The other thing to note about this mission is that heroes respawn automatically, and they do so really quickly, which is why Maiev is back so quickly. She respawned pretty much right away. And that also means that us losing heroes is not all that detrimental. In fact, if we start running low on mana, it's pretty easy to just sack our units. And the reason that we're pushing so far forward, even though we have control of the cage and you would think just fall back and escort it, no, this way we get to thin out the units that are going to be coming after it later and buy it a little bit more space instead of trying to defend it from like a few feet away. You're really just buying time at this point for the cart to get closer to your base. So now, let's talk a little bit about the Pandaring Brewmaster, this special unit that we got for beating the tower defense mission, the secret mission. Like I said, this is another neutral hero, kind of like Vash is the Naga Sea Witch. He's got Drunken Haze by default, which is a spell you cast on enemies to give them a chance to miss you with their attacks. And it has another really nice side effect, which is that any enemy who gets hit by Drunken Haze and then the Brewmaster's nuke, the Breath of Fire, they will also take a bonus burning damage over time from Breath of Fire that way. This is another reason why it's actually kind of useful to lose a hero or two, not just because they'll come back at full mana and full health, it also spawns them pretty close to the mercenary camp, which gives you a chance to use all that gold that you otherwise can't use producing units to hit up the mercenary camp and bolster your forces that much more. Now we've also summoned Kael'thas's Phoenix, the ultimate for the Blood Mage. And boy, if you played the Burning Crusade, again, this looks super familiar. There's a boss in Tempest Keep called Alar, who is a Phoenix that looks identical to this Phoenix. Light trails and particle effects and all. And even behaves in a way that is inspired by the Phoenix from this game. So it's a more or less permanent flying unit. Whenever it dies, it leaves behind an egg. If the summon timer on the egg runs out, it respawns as a full health Phoenix once again.
My pleasure.
So it is an awesome ultimate ability for the Blood Mage. Of course, the egg is really vulnerable to being killed, but not usually by the game's AI, especially the campaign AI. Now, they do come at you with really, really large numbers, but we should be safe now. We bought a lot of time for the card to move forward, and we have a sort of built-in defender's advantage because the closer the card gets to our base, the more we can afford to just throw heroes at the oncoming enemies, because they'll just respawn, and the respawn point's so close to the card now that you can do it over and over and over again. Plus, gives us more opportunities to go and recruit mercenaries. This mission is fucking awesome. By the way, the Phoenix here, being Kael's ultimate, that's also the tie-in for why you get the Ashes of Alar mount in Tempest Keep, why that drops off at Kael. So it's just a few meters from the point that it needs to reach to complete the mission. We've got a big wave of Night Elves coming at us, but we can stall right here for all the time we need. It's not even a problem. Do want to wait for the Phoenix egg to come up, and we are good to go.
Races are an affront to everything the Night Elves stand for.
This is such a short-lived mission, and I don't think they do anything like this again, and it's such a cool one, too.
My pleasure.
A creative campaign.
Lady Vash, your rescue was most timely. The thought of spending another 10,000 years in Maiev's prison was not a pleasant one.
We could not forsake you, Lord Illidan, but you owe your freedom to them.
Who are they, Vash? The young elf looks familiar, but...
They call themselves the Blood Elves, my lord. They are the last mortal descendants of the Highborn, who served you long ago. This is Prince Kael'thas. He and his brethren have come to bask in your wisdom and pledge themselves to your will.
You were right to come to me, Kael. I share the pain of your addiction, your hunger for magic.
Can you help us, Lord Illidan? Can you cure us?
There is no cure, young one. But there are ways to feed the hunger. Follow me, and I will grant your people more magic than they can imagine.
So be it. Lord Illidan, my fellow Blood Elves and I humbly pledge ourselves to your service.
Then arise, young Kael. You shall be my right hand, and the harbinger of my wrath.
What of your plans, Master?
Many months after the Legion's defeat at the Battle of Mount Hyjal, I was visited by one of the last great demon lords, Kil'jaeden.
Illidan, in the past you have been both friend and foe to the Burning Legion. But by consuming the Skull of Gul'dan, you sealed our defeat in this world. I come to offer you a second chance to serve us.
What would you have me do, Great One?
My creation, the Lich King, has betrayed me. He dared to break the pact that binds him to my will. But his spirit still lies trapped inside the frozen throne of Icecrown. Destroy it for me, and I will grant you your heart's desire.
It shall be done, Great One. It shall be done. At Dalaran, I attempted to use the Eye of Sargeras to melt away the polar ice caps surrounding the Icecrown Glacier. If the spell had succeeded, the Lich King would have been vanquished forever.
But the cursed Night Elves intervened.
And the spell went awry. Given my failure, I fled to this desolate place to evade Kil'jaeden's wrath. Now, if I am to remain here in exile, we will need to ensure that Kil'jaeden's agents have been cleansed from the land.
And again, another new important character, Kil'jaeden. Thank you all for watching. Take it easy, have a good one. We'll finish this campaign next time.